get a rhythm. When you get the blues, come on and get a rhythm.
It's a cool Sunday morning at the Rito Park Farmers Market in Tucson. Southern Arizonans are here to buy local produce and fresh meat.
Pepper, like nice coarse ground, and press it into the flesh side.
Okay.
Two local farmers here today are Michael and Luke Muthart.
Beautiful. We sell fresh, pastured poultry to restaurants in Tucson and to customers at farmers markets.
Hello.
You guys have any chickens?
It's clear to us that the people that shop here really are looking for quality ingredients raised by farmers.
It was running around our pasture yesterday morning, and it's now going to be in your frying pan.
Luke Muthart is Michael's younger brother. Together, they own Top Knot
Thank you.
Farms,
Enjoy.
a poultry operation just outside of Benson, Arizona. They are part of the growing farm-to-table movement.
Meat doesn't come from Walmart, and it doesn't come from plastic-wrapped containers in a dairy case. It comes from an animal. So in order to understand the farm-to-table, or to be a part of that, you really need to understand or know your farmer. These are probably only 2 or 3 days old, so...
These farmers raise and harvest chickens, ducks, and seasonally other fowl like turkey and guinea hen.
When you're ready.
I was very interested in doing this project because of my cooking and chef background. It was amazing to me to think about what we could offer.
Sure. Do you sell them whole?
We do. We have 3-pound birds and we have some that are smaller. Do you like smaller?
Michael graduated from a Cordon Bleu cooking school and went on to work in George Perrier's world-famous Lebec Thin in Philadelphia.
In my time in the French kitchens, I was exposed to things like quail, pheasant, grouse, partridge. We have a whole duck for sale today.
He's been a chef for 15 years, most recently running the kitchen at Dish Bistro in Tucson.
The steaks. I love crispy skin on a chicken. I love crispy skin on a duck. But when I cook for myself, I'm always doing a high heat cooking method, and the meat stays juicy.
Anything where you want a really thick, rich yolk, they're delicious.
The brothers are quick to share their cooking methods and recipes with customers.
Our favorite way is to cook them in a pan and get them a little bit crispy.
All right. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you very much.
While from Tucson, they did much of their growing up in Yuma. Luke, the youngest, and Michael, the oldest of 4 boys. Michael credits his parents for instilling good values in him and his brothers.
Characteristics that they've always asked us to be, honest, forgiving, compassionate, hardworking, obviously. My brothers and I are very lucky to have had that good family support system behind us, since we were little.
It kind of forces people to watch where they're walking, and
their father, Paul, is the general manager of a large produce farm.
In Yuma, they're all family farms. They're large farms, but they're family farms. And what I wanted the boys to understand was they can work for themselves, that they can be entrepreneurs, that they don't need to work for a paycheck for somebody. They've taken it to heart, and they're very independent. It's the American dream. Give it a try.
That independent spirit is also in their mother, Jane. Her dream was that her boys be self-sufficient.
Taught them to do laundry and sew on buttons and cook for themselves. Food is real important to me and my family. I'm Italian, and I wanted my boys to learn how to cook, and they all cook.
There's even rumor of a Top Knot recipe book, but for now, their hands are full, raising birds.
This is a chick that arrived probably Wednesday or Thursday on the farm, so he's about 3 or 4 days old. So he's brand new, and he'll live in this brooder house for about 4 weeks before we put him out to pasture. And then he'll spend another 4 weeks, plus or minus, depending on what size the customer orders. And then he will become dinner.
Luke works as a site superintendent for a general contractor and is a graduate of the architecture program at the University of Arizona. He designed the brooder house and the barns at Top Knot.
No one wants to be cooped up in a dark, cold factory setting or an office setting. It's the same formula whether I'm designing a building for people or for an animal. So I have to understand what the chickens need, how they grow, what makes them happy, and that's natural sunlight, plenty of ventilation, clean drinking water, and shelter. They wake up when the sun comes up and they go to sleep when the sun goes down, and they eat when they're hungry. We don't force feed them, or we don't have lights on timers that wake the birds up to eat. They're able to experience natural life.
While they don't use any medicated feed or hormones, their birds are supplemented with a corn ration. The natural life they strive to create for them includes being pasture-raised.
We want them to be able to go out and eat blades of grass and leaves and bugs and seeds. We know that that is how birds should be living. That's how they're designed to live, to be able to eat green, fresh things. And we're working on providing that for all of the birds that we produce on our farm. Providing the best environment that we can for our birds is good for the birds, and it's good for the end consumer, the people that eat the birds.
Top Knot Farms is on desert land, rural and remote, sitting due south of the Rincon Mountains.
Where we are, we don't get very many stations, but classical comes in clear, and it works for everybody. We like it, the birds seem to like it.
And I think the birds get a kick out of that too. I don't know if it makes a difference on how they taste, I doubt it, but it's a good environment.
That good environment is enhanced by Colton Riley. He's the lead farmhand, and he's been working with Luke and Michael since day one.
Really, he's a member of our family.
He's a lover of animals and nature, and that's what makes him the perfect fit for this job.
He's the shepherd of our farm.
After a good life on the farm, the birds are brought from pasture to harvest and processed by hand, one by one.
Pot should be ready for you.
The whole process takes about 5 to 6 minutes before they are chilled on ice, packaged, and refrigerated.
My brother really likes to get into the details, and he's very meticulous, which is good because we're trying to sell a premium product at a premium price. And if our product isn't perfect, we don't send it out. Part of our philosophy is that everything gets used, and what little waste there is, we compost and we put it back into our farm.
They slaughter weekly and bring their poultry to market fresh, not frozen. Along with farmers markets, their chickens and ducks are raised to order for chefs at local restaurants like Proper, Primo, The Coronet, and Augustine Kitchen.
I had one chef cook the product and say, "Wow, this tastes like chicken." Well, yeah, it's chicken. He's like, "Well, that's not what I mean. I mean, it actually has a flavor to it. It doesn't taste like the seasoning rub I used or the barbecue sauce it's smothered in. It tastes like poultry."
And on occasion, that taste is shared on the farm with friends and family. Michael says he's grateful for these times and still loves to cook.
I feel very lucky to be able to work and do this business with my brother. We've become pretty close, even though we're 7 years difference in age. I can't think of somebody else that you would want to trust more, or another person you would want to have your back and be there to help you. You know, we went to Benson to create kind of like this ideal life and situation for our chickens, and as a consequence, I myself am living the same life. You know, I'm out there in the beautiful landscape, eating fresh stuff, drinking good water. I feel extremely free to be out there, and it's that feeling that I think is the best part.